Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. Hey, this is King Simon, the International Numerovator. Remember, get all my books on Amazon or go to Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. And remember, don't forget to book my sessions at 347-496-1022. Book now.
Eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one us. This is Professor Imhotep, the Island Monk, here at Warrior Kido Jiu-Jitsu, Way of the Warrior Spirit. So we're here to go over the rules and try to make that as swift as possible for you guys. So the rules essentially are very few. Number one is to follow us on TikTok at the Island Monk, or if you have Instagram, you can follow us at Warrior Temple Island University, or if you really love us and want to show us support, you can follow us at both. You're going to find the Kata Shodachi, and you're either going to duet us on TikTok or collab with us on Instagram and win 10 tickets for every additional video you do beyond that. So as we say with all the warriors, eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one, us.
I'm going to bring up one of my brethren, one of the good friends there. One that say, come from Jamaica, gato, he, family. And then quiet too, he, we did it. I want y'all to get up and stand up for one of our elders and give him a round of applause. The one and only, Mr. Jerry Miller.
I'll roll my brother myself. What's he got? Put the thing on.
Hold on, man. What I need to do for you, buddy? Okay, no problem. I got you. Let me just pick this up first. Charles Barron will be speaking. Well, no, the Children of Slave Patriot annual event is coming up at 750 Nostrand Avenue between October and Saturday, the 24th of October. Got to pick that up, and make sure you see Brother John for that. Also, I got to pick up Sister Afua. She's also vending today. Pick up the Sister Afua and all the rest of the vendors that are here. Back again, we're going to do, my brother. You're going to set this up, make sure. Okay, coming back on. PC. All right, you know where you're going with that? You know where you're going? Where's your...
This is what I need right here.
You need the bottom, blue?
No,
Or pink? Right.
yeah, right there. No, okay.
Which one? With the pink?
Right here.
Right. With that.
Definitely go with it.
So that's...
Right.
Oh, what's it? Anybody celebrating a birthday? I'd like to. Any Libras in the building? Any Libras? Wow. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Give it around. It's all right. It only comes once a year. That means that means the sun has revolved around the earth once a year for you. So, happy birthday. How old are you now? What is your birthday today? What is it? What day is that? That's the 18th? The 19th? Oh, today's the 18th. Yeah, the 19th. Own your own business, girl. Stop playing. Own your own business. Do it yourself. You ain't gonna like to punch no clock. Believe that. Just stay focused and never second guess yourself. Don't second guess yourself, all right? Don't be indecisive about stuff. Accomplish the goal. Give my man a round of applause, brother Jerry Miller, once again.
Okay, before we start, I'm gonna have my I love your wife. She's going to pass out some things for you. It'll be very helpful. What is it there? Baby, holy baby. Okay, and whenever we do any type of lecture or anything, several things that we do prior that's what I want to say to you. He'll explain, you know better than I do.
Okay, what we normally do, we'll pass out some holy basil, because what it does, it activates the conscious mind. When you're in a spiritual lecture, it's better that you're more activated, so that you can, the consciousness kind of shifts out the way, and you'll be able to absorb better what you're getting. But we just wanted to thank Joel for acknowledging us, and just do a little history between Jerry and I. Jerry usually doesn't tell it, he just, whatever. I think it's right into it. Anyway, one of my aspects of myself is known as Mama Congo, and within there's a few other people that energies that we deal with. You can literally say we actually live with beings, extraterrestrial people that comes in and gives us information. Jerry has many aspects to himself in the sense that he was a medicine man on the Trail of Cares. So he will at times channel the medicine man or different beings and things like that. And another thing that we want people to know that people do sleep on us because people are not aware or know exactly who we are and what we do. We have been on this planet since the inception of the thought of the planet. We are billions of years old. We have traveled from galaxy, dimension, intergalactic, however you want to word it, forever and a day. Our purpose in this time, this is our last time on the planet, we won't be returning. Our purpose in this time is to bring people up to the highest level that they are willing. There's no one that can stop you. It's how much you're willing to do. It's important to activate and to elevate along with the stuff that Joel was saying, because it's not about dealing with things on the physical. The physical is strictly a third dimensional space, and we need to move beyond the fifth dimension. The beings that we currently deal with are from the ninth dimension and beyond. So that's outside of this whole thinking system. And what we offer to people is we come straight from heart space. We want you to have the information. We give information that we should charge hundreds of dollars for. And just like he said, there should be more people here. When Jerry lectures, the room is filled with white folks. Sitting on the floor. They're standing room only. They will travel a few states over just to come and get the information. We'll see them the next year, and they have transformed in thought. So the information is valuable, and it's time to really take hold of it, because there's a lot, as Joe will explain, that's going on. But you're dealing with a math story. So that's what I had to say. Okay, we'll just pass it around, and here's the bag.
Okay, take the basil, and when you get it, just rub it in your hands like this, then take a deep breath in. And you will definitely feel it. You'll definitely feel it. What we're going to do today, we're going to talk about several things. The first part of the lecture is going to deal with the part of capturing your intuition, spiritual intuition. The second half of what we're going to deal with is going to deal with what to expect in the year 2016 and beyond. So 2016, starting now, as we're calling it, is the fact that it's going to be a year of preparation, a year of deception, and a year of mind control. That's something very important. We're going to show you things today. I promise you, when you walk out of here today, you will not be the same person that walked in. You will see things from a whole nother perspective, a whole nother level, and on a whole nother realm. I promise you this. So as many of your lives in here, in the way that you think and see, is going to change today. That I will guarantee. Okay? So first, we're going to deal with the benefits of tapping into spiritual intuition. Like I said, we all have it. Okay, let's get over here. And however, we need to develop it, not be afraid of it. One of our biggest problems as a people is fear. We always told something that is spooky, that is mystical, that is magical, and we're so afraid. If the white man says stay away from it, we're going to stay away from it. Because if he says run in this direction, you go in the opposite direction. So there's something over there that he doesn't want you to know, that you're supposed to know, you're supposed to see. This thing that we have, as far as the intuition goes, is something that we are born with. We all have it from the time we were born to the time that we die. Okay? Now, since you're already psychic, you're already spiritually intuitive. A lot of things happen to you during the course of the day that you may be thinking about somebody and the phone rings and that person's on the phone. That's something, and what you're doing is that you are tuning in. That's when your frequency is at a high. That's when you're able to connect on that level with somebody. When you know that you're raising up high, certain things begin to happen. Has anybody here ever bought a new car? Or a used car?
Yeah.
All right? And what happens when you buy that car? All of a sudden, on the street, what do you see? That same car you bought everywhere.
Yeah.
So why? Why is that? They've always been there. They've always been there. Those cars have never went anywhere. Why is that? Because what has happened is that because you tuned into something that is attached to you, that you now have, it raises your frequency and your awareness. And now that your awareness is raised, you are now able to tune in and see this thing everywhere. Wherever you go, you'll see this car, and it happens with everything else that's going on in your life. When you raise your level of awareness, or as you might say, consciousness, you are now open to things that you were seeing before but did not see. This is what happens. So therefore, you have to recognize and have these abilities, then learn to work them and learn to use them to your benefit. Okay, now, next thing. See, now this here is all new to me. See, working with this hair thing, this is white man magic. I ain't used to it, but I'm going to do the best I can with what I got. Okay, now, what is spiritual intuition? What is it? What is spiritual intuition? We hear the word spirit, we hear the word intuition, and we use it, but then do we really know what it is? Do we really know what it is? Let's answer that question. Now, the word spirit, spiritual, self, life force, acknowledging the inner you, the real you, the one that really exists. In the Hebrew, it's called ruh, okay? Which is a life force of energy, which everybody and everything has within it. You have the ruh, you have that spirit, you have that energy all throughout you. And I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of where you really are and not where you think you are. Okay? It comes from, it's a hunch. Something that you feel about something or somebody. You may get around a person and start feeling uncomfortable. You say, there's something about that person, or there's a thing that I don't like. I don't feel comfortable being with them. I don't feel comfortable in their energy space. That's your intuition beginning to work. That's that hunch. Now, remember how your mother always said to you, especially you girls, that boy you messing with, he ain't no damn good. And you hear it, and what happens? You mess with him anyway. And slowly the whole mama said, I told you. But because of the fact that your intuition didn't kick in yet, you don't see it. But because of her life's experiences and things that she knows, she sees, she's trying to warn you before you have it. When you get these intuitions or when you get these hunches, pay attention. That's a red flag for you. That's a signal that's going up to let you know something isn't right, something that you have to pay attention to, and you need to listen. Listen. Okay, in other words, it's a spiritual knowing. It's in the knowing is the key. Once you know, now the thing is this, is that you can't believe, you can't suspect, you have to know. And in the knowing is where you will have your power. That's where your power is. Like my wife said, we go out and we go all over the country, different places, and we do what we do here, and we also give lectures. And in the lectures where we go, when I look out in the crowd, I see at least 95 to 98% white people.
Wow.
They come and ask my wife and I questions about different things. And then what happens when the event opens, black people come in and they run right straight to the white folks. They look at us as if we don't exist, not knowing that before the event happened, all those folks were coming to us, asking us information, getting answers. This year I went out and I talked about the 10 keys, the 10 keys of spiritual awakening and power. Okay? The 10 keys. I told them 10 different things that changed their lives. Today, I'm going to try to give you all some of that too. If I gave it to them, I'm going to give it to you too. And I promise you, it will definitely change your life. All right? But this is something that we have to know. And, stop speculating. Stop. I know. No. Because with that knowing, you're going to gain that power. You're going to have that power. So, this. There we go. All right, now, we are spiritual beings living in a physical body. How do you know? How do you know you are a spiritual being living in a physical body? Not because somebody told you, but how do you know this? Watch this. Prior to coming to this planet, Earth, you had spiritual intellect. Now, I'm going to show you something right here that you do all the time that is spiritual, and you don't even realize that it is. If everybody would just close your eyes, everybody, please, everyone, close your eyes, close your eyes. Now, I want you to see a tree. I don't care what kind of tree it is, just see a tree in your eyes. Say your eyes closed. Now, I want you to talk to that tree. Say, hi, tree, what a nice tree you are, what a lovely tree, you're a pretty tree, anything that you want. Communicate with that tree back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Keep your eyes closed, just visualize it as best as you possibly can. Just keep talking to that tree, right? Very good, excellent. Now, open your eyes. Open your eyes. What you just did is this. You left third dimension. When you close your eyes, you, not your body, but you are no longer in third dimension of see, hear, smell, taste, touch. But yet, without the use of your physical eye, without the use of your physical ear, without the use of your physical mouth, you were talking, you were singing, you were hearing. How so? How is that possible? How is that possible that you can do these things without the aid of a physical body? Because you are a spiritual being that is surrounded, encased in a physical body. And then when you look at it from the standpoint of being that, look at it from this aspect, you are on the inside looking out. You, the person who you are, a spiritual person, is on the inside looking out. But yet, when you release yourself from the physical, you no longer are here. You are now in another, let's use the terminology you're familiar with, another dimension. Because you left this air plane, this earth plane, and you're no longer trapped in the physical. Because anything that exists in the physical has to first come from the spiritual dimension. Something that you had mentioned before about the crystals, right? There's a story about this guy out in Garden Grove, California. His name is Robert Schuller. You may have heard of him, right? He's a big-time preacher out there, right? To show you how these people think and what really goes on and how they see things, is that he had wanted to bring into existence a crystal cathedral, a cathedral made of crystal. And so when he went and hired an architect, and he told his architect what he wanted, how he wanted to design, and he drew up the plans, and he had the blueprints and everything. And then he went to a contractor and said, I want you to build this. The contractor said, looked at the plans, he said, look, Mr. Schuller, it's a great idea, but it's impossible. He said, what? He said, it's impossible. He said, do me a favor, over there on my desk, I have a dictionary. Look up the word impossible and tell me what it says. The guy went over to the desk, dictionary, looked into it. He looked there and said, the word impossible is not in here. He said, that's right, because that word does not exist to me. There is nothing that is impossible. And with him saying that, that church is sitting out there right today in Garden Grove, California. A crystal cathedral that he said was impossible, but because of the fact that he did not relate to a negative word impossible, he made it a reality. And anything that you can think of, that you can conceive, will become a reality because it first starts here in the spirit and you bring it down into the physical. Now, there are many of you that are here that are given great ideas, great thoughts, great things to do, but the problem is you don't act on them. You'll see something that you might be thinking about later on down the road that someone else made. You said, I was thinking about doing that. Right, you were. But because they acted on it first, they got it. It's not that you were the only person that's given these ideas or given these thoughts or given these visions. A lot of people are. And whoever is the first to hit the ground running will get it. You think Ford was the only guy that came up with a car? Hell no. You think Edison was the only cat that came up with a light bulb? No. This was floating around in the air for everybody to attain. But he was one of the first ones to grab it. And when he grabbed it, he seized it and he ran like hell with it and brought it into existence. So anything before it comes to a physical, has to first be in the spirit. That's where it comes from. And then you bring it down, and what it causes vibrating at just a high frequency. And it cannot be seen in the physical. And as you create it and bring it, and you slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. So you slow it down, it becomes a solid. And there it is. Like it's building and anything else. So when you, prior to coming here, you had all of that intellect in you. Everything that you could possibly think of, and you came down in different groups. Like for instance, all of you that are here this afternoon, prior to coming to this planet, we all had a meeting. And we said, one day when we get down here, we're gonna come here and we're gonna see Jerry Miller speak. And we're gonna come here and see me speak. And we all gathered together and made that up. Why? Because you could be any place else on this planet if you choose to be, yet you chose to be here. And that's how these things happen. When you begin to start to connect on that same level, that same frequency, that same vibration, you start pulling all of this together. You start coming together as one. And you come as one mind. When you come as one mind, there's nothing you cannot do, you cannot accomplish. Because of the fact that you are now in accord with one another. So prior to coming here, you had this spiritual intellect. But once on earth, when we got here, it was forgotten. Why? Because we came here to get that physical experience. We wanted to know what it felt like to go through physical things. We want to know what it felt like to go through maybe happiness, sadness, pain, all these different things as a spiritual being. Because there, it doesn't exist like that for us. But here, we are now in the world of see, hear, smell, taste, touch. We now have these things to experience. And once we get the taste of it, we say, okay, it's time to get out of here. That's why a lot of you are activating that DNA, that ancient DNA, that dormant DNA that's in you, that's beginning to stir. You're beginning to ask questions. You're beginning to wonder why. You're beginning to say to yourself, I don't feel like I belong here. And there are some of you that are here that don't have all earthly DNA. Some of you have galactic DNA. And you come from the stars, you come from the heavens. So there are times at night when you're alone by yourself, you go outside and look up at the stars in the sky, and you like the movie E.T., oh, that's you. That's who you are. Because you feel that connection. You say to yourself, damn, I want to get out there. I want to be out there amongst. And that's why you are what they call an astral traveler. When you go and you dream, you do astral traveling. Astral is the word star. You become a star traveler, like an astronaut. An astronaut is a star sailor. That's what the word means. They're sailors, they're nautical. And so he's part of the astral community. So with that, you are now part of the astral community. When you start to go out, when you start to venture beyond the earth, and you get that connection with all of those, as you might call them, extraterrestrial beings. So that's where a lot of your DNA is coming from, some of you. There are others you will come from different dimensions. Everybody that is here on this planet is not from the earthly plane. Stop being fooled, stop being told things like that. You are not, and you feel it, and you know it, but you can't tell somebody because they say, oh, you crazy. You out your goddamn mind. Talking like that. What you been smoking? The person they ask you. Because of the fact that they can't relate, because they don't know it, they can't see it, so it's not part of who they are. All right? Now, this is where we get to the interesting part. Tapping into who you are, not what you are. Remember, you were taught what to think, not how to think. And now, when probably you're ready to tell me, I'll just get out the way because I do the transfer over here. It's about tapping in to remember who you are. Tapping in is important, all right? And there are different ways that you can do this. There's different ways that you can tap in to remember to awaken that dormant DNA, to awaken who you are. And one of the ways that we're going to talk about is this: meditation. Meditation, meditation, meditation. Meditation is important. Now, a lot of us say, well, I don't know how to meditate. I don't know what to do. Or when I'm meditating, I lose focus. I lose, direction. I can't think straight. Well, okay, right here, if you read that, it tells you it's a way to tap into that spiritual inner self. Like when I said, when you close your eyes before, you were doing a brief meditation. That was a simple form of meditation because you were tapping inward. You had shut out the entire world. And when I said to you to focus on these things, nothing else came into your mind because you did not allow it. A lot of times when we think, when we have a thought process, it's like this. Is that you ever seen one of those little balls, you take it and you throw it on the ground and it bounces up and goes back down and just bounces all over the place? That's how our minds are constantly going on 24/7. You're constantly got so many things going on in your head, we can't focus on any one thing and do it right all the time because we haven't learned to block out or to screen out those things that come in and interfere with our thoughts of what we want to do. It's like when you first learn to drive a car, all right? You first learn to drive a car, what do? You were thinking of everything at once, thinking of the gas, the brake, the driving, all these things coming all at once at you. And it's very, very difficult. So what happens? After a period of time, you kill yourself once or twice. The subconscious mind says, look, before you kill us both, let me take over, and then you do what you got to do. And so what happens is that you relinquish that to the subconscious thought processes, the subconscious mind. And then the subconscious mind comes in and says, okay, I can drive the car, but I know how to drive, you don't. And you can talk, you can do whatever you want to do while I'm driving to keep us there. That's when you are tapping in and you say, that also is a form of meditation, right? But also it says here, it's also a link. Not remembering who you are, but also remembering who your ancestors are. Because remember, your ancestors are those who preceded before us. They went before us and paved the way. Yet they are with us to help guide us, but we have to be able to tap in. And in tapping in, you will be able to visit them in other dimensions, other vortexes. You know that during the course of the day, that a lot of you don't notice, but you go through a vortex, you walk right through a vortex into another dimension, then you walk right out again, not know it. So that happened to my wife and I. We happened to be in the courthouse for something that we were taking care of business. And while we were in the courthouse, we looked around at each other and looked at the people there. Holy Jesus, holy Jesus. What is going on? Is that we were in a whole nother dimension. There was nothing there but low vibrational beings, low vibrational frequencies. And we're standing looking at it like, what the heck are we doing here? And we just sat back and we observed. We stood in the corner, away from everybody else. We just observed what was going on and how these people were acting. And we kind of said to ourselves, like, this is what our ancestors look at. They sit back and,
A lot of them didn't.
a lot of them didn't see us. This happens to us a lot of times too, is that when you raise your frequency, when you really raise your frequency, a lot of times people don't actually see you. This happens like when I go to the store sometimes. When I'm feeling really good and I got a good feeling and I'm really, really high about something. And I walk to the store and I'm standing there and the girl, I don't know who she is, but she's white or black, doesn't matter. She'll walk right behind me. You're right behind me. I'm like, what's wrong with you? And also when I do that, I lower my vibration to say, oh, excuse me, I see you standing there. Can I help you, sir? I've been standing there for the last 5 minutes. Bitch. And you see me? Then I realized, okay, that's what happened. I was such a high frequency, and this is what happens to you from time to time. I know a guy that I know, I want to say a friend of mine, but a guy that I know, what he used to do is that he used to go to the supermarket, fill up the shopping cart, and walk out. Nobody saw him. He walked right by the guard. Now I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it. He said, watch this. I know how to do it too, but I don't do it. I don't do that. I don't even go see that bad. But he filled up his basket. I mean, Ray Charles could see what he had in that basket. And he just went through there and walked right out of the grocery store, got to his car, loaded it up, and that was it. Nobody saw a thing. And this tells you that once you get to a certain level, once you go to a consciousness, now I'm going to talk about just the physical consciousness. If you say we are the conscious community, we know about being conscious, we're talking about being conscious on a spiritual level. Because there's more than one level of consciousness. You can be conscious all your ass wants to be. But if you ain't conscious spiritually, you're wasting your time. Because they go hand in hand. Just don't settle for that level of consciousness or awareness. Look for the spiritual level of consciousness and awareness. And what that will do, that will take you to a whole nother place, a whole nother vibration, a whole nother thing that's going on in your life. Right now, I'm going to stop and do something real quick, and I'll explain it later if I can do this. What I want you all to do, everybody look at me, pay attention to me. What I want you to do is this. I want you to think of two geometric shapes. Two. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be small, but two geometric shapes and not be a square. Not be a square, right? I want you to think of those two of them. And as you're thinking of them, I want you to take one and put one beside the other. Watching, pay attention, one beside the other. And then when you're ready, only when you're ready, I want you to give it a color. Okay, have you done that? Now I'm gonna take a guess at what two shapes there were and the color we talk about it later. Okay, was one a triangle? Yeah. Was one a circle? Wow. And was the color red?
Yo, that's great.
Okay, I'll explain that later. That's gonna go in the second part of the lecture. That I'm gonna explain to you how that was done and why I did that.
That's insane.
Okay? All right, now, moving on. I'm just here. Okay, let's see if it's the blind man. The next one. Okay, now, this is where it comes part of the meditation where you have to learn to block out unwanted thoughts. Unwanted thoughts. Okay? A lot of times people say like when I'm meditating, I can't hold it because I'm thinking of so many different things. For instance, you might be, let's see, thinking of going shopping, playing ball, going to the club and dropping it like it's hot, worry, fear, anger. All these here things will come in as you're trying to meditate to block you from achieving that level of meditation. And what happens, unfortunately, for so many people is that when this occurs, they give up. They say, oh man, I can't do this. I have no sense in trying to do it. But that's where you should do it at that point. What you need to do in learning to meditate is this. Two things. First thing is pick a time of day when it's suitable for you to do every day. Doesn't matter what time it is. If you get up first thing in the morning and it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock, take that time, at least a half hour. Doesn't have to sit there. You don't have to sit there in some position and you don't have to do all that. That's not necessary. Sit in a comfortable position or lay down in a comfortable position. Doesn't matter. There are those who in different schools of thought say, well, you have to sit in this position, or you have to do this, or you have to do that. That's not true. Whatever position that you take that you are comfortable in, that's the position that you take. Right? And then you begin your meditation. Personally, for me, when I first started out meditating, I listened to guided meditations. All right, guided meditations are the type that you have somebody talking and saying, I want you to sit back, I want you to relax, I want you to breathe, I want you to, and it takes you all through. That way, you can focus on the sound of your voice and not on that type of stuff, like this. You have so many things going on in your mind that you can't really focus. So once you get to the guided part of the meditation, then you'll be able to start saying, okay, I've mastered this. Now it's time to go for the unguided. And that way you can learn to focus your energies. You can focus anything that you want to do and bring and change that your mind space. If you want to contact your ancestors, you can wish to do that. If you want to travel to another dimension, you can do that. Remember this, that the physical body, see, hear, smell, taste, touch, is limited. It's limited. If I say to you, stretch your fingers as far as they can go, this is it, you reach the limit. Or if I say stretch your mind to the moon, you're there. So that means that you no longer have limits once you release third dimension. And the thing about third dimension is that it's a place where it's a trap. Really, it's a trap, because when you get here, there are things that keep you, as they say, earthbound, keep you attracted. Things that you want to go through, let's say, money. Everybody wants money. There's nothing wrong with wanting money, having money, but you don't let the money control you to the point where you sell, as they say, your soul. You know, and we're going to talk about this too in the second part of the lecture, about that, where you have certain people who you trust, people that you trust, who are some of your, let's say, your actors or your singers or your entertainers in that field, who you trust, who promote things for you that's no good. I saw an ad with, this may offend some of y'all, I don't know, I really don't care, but I saw Rihanna. Y'all like Rihanna, oh, you know, bad boy, what's this, shaking that, whatever thing, right? She's there promoting a milk ad. And you know damn good and well, cow's milk is not meant for human consumption. I don't care what anyone tells you, anybody will tell you that, it's got any sense. You do not, and the funny thing about cow's milk is that if you don't drink the cow's milk directly, they give it to you another way. You know how to give it to you another way?
Cheese.
Not just cheese. Bread. What's bread made with? You can't make bread without milk. So therefore, you know, I'm vegan. I ain't drinking no milk, eating no butter or no cheese. I'm saying bread. Oh, great, I'll have some bread. You eat the bread, you're still getting the milk. So we have to start looking at things from a whole nother perspective, a whole nother idea of what's going on. And they use people like that, the entertainers, to sell us or to separate our money from our wallet as quickly as you can for things that are not beneficial to us as a people as a whole. All right? But the thing is that we have to learn to block these things out. And that comes with diligence, it comes with practice, that comes with being able to say, when you sit down and you get ready to do this meditation, this is what I'm going to do. And the more you do it, the more focused you become, the better it is for you. Meaning this is that if you do it once a week, expect once a week results. If you do it twice a week, expect twice a week results. It's like trying to build a strong arm. The more you pump that arm, the more you lift that weight, the bigger the muscle's going to get. But if you do it one day a week, and then don't do it for the next 7 days, expect to see something, it's not going to happen. So this is what we say all the time. My wife and I tell people that anything that you want to achieve, you have to do the work. You have to put the work in. If you're not going to put the work in, then therefore don't bother trying to do it, because it's not going to benefit you at all in any way. Okay, now, whenever you go, before you do a meditation, always, and this is even if you're not meditating, but keep this in mind, that you always want to put in place protection from psychic attack, psychic activation. This happens to you all the time. You're always invaded by people who we know as energy vampires. There are people who are always constantly trying to zap your energy or steal from you. So one of the first things you want to do is find a way of protecting yourself while you're in this safe state. What you can do, there's some methods that help us here, but the reason why is that you are so vulnerable and that you are so open that anything can come in. And if you're unaware of something coming in and you're not knowing, then therefore you will be susceptible to whatever actions this thing decides to do while in that state and while you are in that physical body. And there are many times that people do things and say, I don't remember doing that. I don't remember saying that. I don't remember pulling the trigger. I don't remember strangling them because of the fact that at the time it was so open that they invited something to come in to take over and attack the body on that level. One of the things that we use our organ energy. Organ energy is a life force energy that is designed to create, like we make our own products. We don't buy from China, we don't buy from somebody else who sells you all. Everything that you see here on these tables, my wife and I, we create. We all make by hand. There's nothing here that is made other than maybe a couple of things that we have as far as the stones and bottles and things of that nature that we have, but we make this here because we know that this works as a protection device for you. All right, while you have this on your person, your body will be shielded against all kinds of negativity. And for example, this, I don't know if you can see that or not, but these are, like Joe was talking about before, these are some of the sources of the EMF, extreme low frequencies, electromagnetic vibration and frequency. You see where it's coming from, everything. What's happening, and this is all man-made. This comes from cell phones, computers, all these different devices that we have around us, through us every single day, going on. How many of y'all saw the movie Lucy? Y'all see that movie?
Yeah.
Okay, now remember when she advanced to a certain level, she saw trees, she saw everything. What was happening is that she got so high, so advanced, her frequency was that she saw these same things in a whole other dimension that existed. And then when she was out in the street in the car, and the people using cell phones, she saw all of that stuff coming out. That's for real. That is, they call it e-smog, electronic smog is what they call it. And you go through it every single day that you exist. You don't think about it, but this is what happens. Let me see what I say. All right. That's my car right there, right? Now, this is a device I have. You don't turn the car on. What it can do, it can, let me see what it can do here. Okay, I just unlocked my car from in here. And let me lock it back. This is New York, I'm gonna lock it back real quick. I know how y'all do here. I'm from here, I just live here, find out. What it is that I just hit that button and an invisible signal went through that vehicle and unlocked that door. It went through the screen, through the glass thing, and went outside. If I was inside the house and did it, it would do the exact same thing. Now, do you think that same signal isn't going through your body at the same time? And when it goes through your body, what happens? What happens to your body? It disrupts your cells, not at the cellular, but at the molecular level, and disrupts things. That's why a lot of times, as the brother was saying, that they send out these signals, and people get sick and don't know why. People are in pain and don't know why. Because you are subject to the frequency of whatever that device or whatever devices that you have electronically that's affecting the body. You know, there's a spot in, you might know, heard of it here. It's in somewhere in Virginia. I think it's a 13,000 square mile place where there is no electronic activity allowed. None. You can't use cell phones. You can't use radio, nothing that deals with a frequency. You can get a landline, but there's no other energies allowed in this particular zone. Why? Because the U.S. Army is running tests there. And when they run these tests, those frequencies from those cell phones, those places, will interfere with whatever the hell they're doing there.
Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.